What if I told you that the secret to your company's future success was actually hidden inside a 19th century novel? Yeah, I know, it sounds a little out there, but trust me, the connection between Charles Dickens' Great Expectations and a modern sustainability policy is a surprisingly powerful way to understand why your organization really needs one. It's a fair question, right? I mean, what could a story from the 1800s possibly teach a modern business about surviving and thriving? Well, the answer isn't about the plot twists, but about one single crucial character who works entirely from the shadows, quietly shaping the future. And here he is. In the book, our main character Pip gets lifted out of poverty by a secret benefactor named Magwitch. Now, Magwitch provides this steady, life-changing foundation for Pip's entire future, all while staying completely behind the scenes. So hold on to that idea, a quiet, structuring force working in the background. So that sets up this really fascinating comparison, which we're going to call a tale of two fortunes. We're going to look at Pip's fortune from the book right next to the very real and very critical fortune of a modern organization. And here's the big takeaway. Just like Pip's future was only made possible because of Magwitch's foresight and planning, the long-term success and resilience of your organization completely hinges on a similar guiding framework. That framework, that hidden benefactor, it's a well-crafted sustainability policy. Okay, so if a sustainability policy is this unseen guiding hand, what does that actually look like in the real world, in a corporate setting? Let's break that down. At its core, a sustainability policy is way more than just a piece of paper. It's a framework for how you make decisions. It guides an organization to operate responsibly across three key areas you've probably heard of. ESG. That's E for environmental impact, S for social responsibilities, how you treat people and communities, and G for governance, which is just how the company is run. So think back to how Magwitch helped Pip. It wasn't random, right? It was consistent. It was deliberate. It was sustained over years. It had a structure. It was hidden. And in the end, it was totally transformative for Pip. Keep those words in your head. Because a strong sustainability policy does the exact same thing for a company. It gives you consistent guidelines for using resources. It sets deliberate standards for energy efficiency. It creates a structured way to handle waste and ethics, all with the end goal of making the company resilient for the long haul. See the parallel? So we know what this policy is, but the how is just as important. How do you actually get it to work? Well, the key, the absolute key, is making sure it's integrated into the company, not just imposed from the top down. And this distinction is everything. If you just try to force a new policy on everyone overnight, it's disruptive, people push back, and it feels like some external rule nobody asked for. It just doesn't work. But when you integrate it seamlessly into how people already work, it just becomes part of the culture. It quietly shapes decisions, it builds accountability, and it helps manage risks, without anyone feeling like they're being forced to do a thing. And this is where that whole Magwitch metaphor really clicks. The policy's true power is in that hidden presence. It works best when its influence is constant, just a part of how things get done, a guiding hand that people don't even really have to think about. Okay, so you're probably thinking, this sounds like a lot of work. And yeah, it is. But let's talk about the payoff, because this isn't about a quick win. This is absolutely a long-term investment in your company's future. The benefits don't all pop up on day one. It's a journey. It starts today with planning and commitment. Then in the first year or so, you start seeing it integrated into how things work. By year 3, you can actually start to measure cost savings from things like energy efficiency. But the big rewards, those come around year 5 and beyond, an enhanced reputation and deep, meaningful trust with your stakeholders. And when you look at the breakdown of those returns, it's pretty eye-opening. The biggest pieces of the pie are the things that are kind of hard to put a number on: reputation and trust. Yeah, cost savings and staying compliant are crucial. But the real prize, the long-term win, is the trust you build and how the world sees your organization. Ultimately, the policy becomes what our source material calls a quiet architect of enduring organizational success. I love that phrase. It's not the flashy thing you put in a press release. It's the foundational blueprint that makes sure the whole building will stand for decades. And that brings us to our final and maybe the most important idea. Thinking of this policy as your organization's quiet guardian. This is the final evolution. What starts as a set of guidelines on paper transforms into something so much more profound. It becomes the guardian of your organization's legacy. It's not just about securing profits, but about securing social trust and environmental stewardship for whatever comes next. So I'll leave you with this. The real question isn't whether you can afford to put a sustainability policy in place, it's whether you can really afford not to. Can your organization truly face the future without its own quiet, steadfast guardian working behind the scenes to secure its legacy?